I might keep that can on me, pockets full, they stand on me. Real ones ain't playing, little ones keep playing. Beat the beat like Pan, I keep it chill like 10. You gon' eat it even if it's bland. I beat it different with the Jackson hand. Your shit sleep like a pack of Zans. I keep the heat like it's Pakistan. MOZ, they don't understand. Coast to coast like it's contraband. We could go neck and neck like it's the final stand. I just go best to best, who really want it, man? Not even super duper Kyle can. 1K, I'ma take 100,000 fans. Damn, don't get in the way. Throw that shit away. Will incinerate you back to lemonade. Please stay in the shade or you gon' feel the rays. MOZ pieces yellow on the rise and they feeling lots of ways.
Lots of rays, Sean ain't getting lots of pay. Had a date with death, I'm flaking on that bitch like not today. Who want it? Better I got it. Dealing that logic, hit it like chronic, it's hypnagogic. Hook like phonics, she wanna hop on it. I'm like underlay. How this goofy on the internet flow just like Melchizedek. We're so over their head, don't know that they dead. I'm like they just don't get it yet. Work too hard to barely get a check just to burn it on weed and cigarettes. Doing hood rat stuff with my friends. The reign of terror, this never ends.
Yeah, ain't no never mind shit. You the gang, you supposed to push behind shit. You outside, we outside, how come we ain't find shit? Bitch nigga shit, that shit I don't align with. I'm here to swerve some, I'm here to take places, cause I deserve some. You niggas fake faces, you need permit some. Look at Gobbers 2018 was your chance, but you ain't get it done. I'm getting silly bands. You look like you rock silly bands. I've been in your city with no ceiling fan. You ain't super duper with no mission, damn. All that's fake funk, lace tuck, wait boy, just tie your shoes. On nothing say about them lame niggas, just never cool. Ice me up, y'all. Feel like $1,000,000, y'all. I ain't worried about y'all. That's what you fuck niggas sound like. Niggas need sweat, niggas sound right. Free energy, we flying around kites. I never fall off when I'm around heights. You niggas fell off and you out of sight. Your promo looking like you can't decide. We gon' blow a roof like a candlelight. When I go number one, hope you acting right. An integrity, I always sleep at night. Yeah, ain't no never mind shit. You the gang, you supposed to push behind shit. You outside, we outside, how come we ain't find shit? Bitch nigga shit, that shit I don't align with. I'm here to swerve some, I'm here to take places, cause I deserve some. You niggas fake faces, you need permit some. Look at Gobbers 2018 was your chance, but you ain't get it done.
They know, 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 they know. You know good and well that you don't want a problem like that. You gon' make somebody around me fix my body like that. Oh, don't do it. No, don't do it. They know. They know, they know, they know. She said they missed the old Drake. Girl, don't tell me. You know this the best you ever had. You know I'm the hit maker y'all depend on. Don't listen to Ross, I ain't have no surgery on my nose. Don't listen to I don't serve no slave master. I ain't rapping to free the slaves neither.
Don't act like you don't know me. These hams deserve a trophy. Baby, it ain't no mystery. Got the best BBL in history. This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen it blow up as BBL.
Yeah.
BBL music.
come and spare that boy. Joe fucked him up. Pusha put him in the coffin, sealed the lid shut. He was cool with Dot until they had some fucking problems. Couldn't control himself well until Dot solved it. Shot called it. Ross smoked him, Ye smoked him. Metro said he doesn't trust him. Now I got my angels on them.
Don't act like you don't know me.
Death coming soon. You got popped for your jewels. Now that's how you make the news.
This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen this blow up. As BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy.
Oh,
BBL Drizzy.
oh,
BBL
oh.
Drizzy. Oh.
You know that O's for Ozempic, baby. Oh yeah.
BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
Y'all do push-ups. Drop and give me 50.
I'm thicker than a snicker. I'm thicker than a ninja. Don't act like you don't know me.
I'ma mess with this V12 right quick.
Baby, it ain't no mystery.
Hey.
Got the best BBL in history. This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen this blow up. As BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
I can't even think of a Drake line. This white boy made a career off a line. Y'all gassed him up every day online. You said he gave you more life, now he dying. He thought that he was cool because he well known, but that don't matter when he die and go to hell though.
Don't act like you don't know me.
Death coming soon, you got popped for your jewels. Now that's how you make the news.
I know you've seen this blow up. As BBL Drizzy. BBL
What's up, white boy?
BBL.
White boy, we see you. They know, they know, they know, they know, they know.
Don't act like you don't know me. These hams deserve a trophy. Baby, it ain't no mystery. Got the best BBL in history. This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen this blow up. As BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL.
Happy birthday, Taurus. You not Taurus, you Taurissimo now. Taurissimo. Shout out to Aries. Y'all done started a war. Damn. 2024 moose season. Moose season. 2024 moose season. 2024 moose season. Let's get it. Dot said you niggas ain't like that. Is you like that? Took the boy about 3 weeks just to write back. Then he told y'all drop and give him 50. Did he still getting exposed on IG by 50? Did he do it or not though? Then the boy dropped a freestyle tailor-made. Had to take that shit down by the end of the retrograde. Damn. Y'all was really thinking light-skinned niggas was winning. Then Quavo reminded you this was over hoes and bitches. Israel bombed Iran. Iran bombed Israel back. Nobody cared. They just waited for Dot to drop a track. Ye told Drake to serve his master, lil baby. Drake told Metro to make some drums, you all went crazy. Never seen grown-ass men cope the worst. Just to think this happened all off of one verse. People put a time limit on the response, but told Drake he don't even have to respond to Ross.
That makes sense.
Called him a white boy and BBL Drizzy while the body count in Gaza making shit a little tricky. Everybody taking sides, everybody choosing. As long as little children die, everybody losing. The media and news making shit more confusing. Conflicted stories, false narratives, noise polluting. Taylor Swift sold 2 million in a week after winning her first Super Bowl. Damn, that shit was super cold. All the scripted shit getting super old. Ye say he got again, now he getting Super Bowl. Everybody on the web share the same memes. And Braun lost 10 times to the same team. More people worry about if he getting swept than the wars killing babies and the tears mothers wept. It's me, I'm people, and this ain't nothing new. We actually did this 10 years ago too. Alright, I'm gonna get my predictions in. They might be wrong, they might be right. But if they right, you gonna be back. And that's a fact. Trump on trial for hush money detection, but we all know you afraid of him winning the elections. Joyner Lucas all up in your mentions. Y'all thought he started fake beef with the baby for attention. Ukraine and Russia still at it after so long, but it won't be long till China invade Taiwan. Doc gon' drop and change the way you look at Drizzy. Megan Thee Stallion going round 2 with Nicki. Easy porn coming, I say easy porn coming. Y'all thought he was actually shooting porn. Damn, that man cunning. What a rollout, setting a precedent for independence. Y'all still using streaming, getting sense. It makes sense, yeah. The death of Slim Shady about to be a straight classic. A legend gonna die before it drop, it'll be tragic. Nas on Primo beats, a formula for magic. Maybe hip hop will resurrect out its casket. World War III and Civil War coming soon. Some new altcoins probably going to the moon. Better check your crypto, better talk love to yourself like a schizo. Airbnb warning about June travel restrictions. We all know it's another pandemic remixing. Watch how that shit drop, bringing back lockdowns. Watch how that shit flop, revolution pit stop. All during 2024 moose season. Moose season. 2024 moose season. Moose season. 2024 moose season. Torissimo. Enjoy your 2024 moose season. Yeah. I know you see it. 18 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your new moon in Taurus ceremony. I would like to thank you first and foremost for holding it down. A lot of information through the past decade has been suppressed. And I see that as a testing period to see who really is committed to perfecting their craft and weathering the storm and challenges. And I like to believe we're headed down a period where, you know, those who stayed true to what they're doing are going to see a global expansion, everything that they're doing. And I would like to sincerely thank each and every single one of you who have rocked with me through this journey. It's definitely a moment in time, and I am grateful to break down this new moon sequence because I do believe it's nuclear and not as enough to mean like a nuclear bomb, but there is a definitely new established precedents being manifested and the seeds are being sown as we speak. Quite literally, we have just entered the activation. Okay, I'm going to provide an affirmation that over the next 2 weeks, in your own unique way, I want you to implement. And I'm going to break down over the next 2 weeks through each moon sign coming into the full moon in Sagittarius. We're taking it there. How to best effectively maximize this transit. I have tools provided in the description box below for those of you who would like, you know, an idea of how to get results from this immediately. And for those of you watching, there's 200 people in the chat. So yeah, we're going to do a ritual at the end of this, and we'll start a bit now too, that will maximize all these people exponentially, also intending for your intention to come true. All right. So, the affirmation that I would like for you to be the base on everything, we're going to sow seeds here. We're all going to, this ritual is all of us going to collectively do in this individual broadcast, set an intention at sowing seeds. And when we do this together, this strengthens this, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. That's going to add more supernatural extreme quality to what we've been doing through the Pluto Capricorn transit, but with so much more extremely noticeable results. We're going to break down the math of this, and I think it's going to excite you a lot. Okay, so regardless, based on this, right? The affirmation, right? And the seeds you're planting could be any wish you want, anything that you want to see materialize, anything that you want to stand on as far as your values. What do you have? What is everything that you have, you're grateful for having, and you want to have? And we want you to put the base of these intentions on this affirmation. I have an unlimited amount of anything. Isn't that like the dopest
realization ever. You're an infinity heir. Okay. You may not believe this or accept this now, but your challenge and mission over the next 2 weeks is to literally repeat this affirmation in any way, visually, thinking it, feeling it, singing it for the next 2 weeks. That's it. If you've never believed in these practices, this is a great period to practice it and see results within 48 hours. Okay. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, but that's all you want to do. You want to take this seed you planted and carry that. And the links that I have described below will help you through that process. One is no action needed. The other is the ultimate guide to the law of assumption. If you watch those and practice those, I'm going to watch them again as soon as I'm done, just so I can, get in the state. But that's it. It's tied around making it your own practice. And yeah, every intention you put with the main affirmation, you have an unlimited amount of anything. You don't have to worry about how this happens. You don't have to worry if you see it or you don't see it. Right now, with 220 plus people, we are stepping forward in the assumption that we have an unlimited amount of anything. This is going to be a huge ritual. And you know what? I'm doing a pick a card too at the end. So we'll get some cartomancy in. Shout out to those of you who've been peeping the cartomancy. I've been producing some amazing results, and we're going to keep it going. I'm going to implement it in different ways. But yeah, with that being said, this is a realization of your values in extraordinary and eccentric fashion that will, in rigid ways, clash with other people's belief systems, religions, and also their sensibilities. And by you standing on your two and practicing what you preach, you're going to be letting all those people who you're ruffling their feathers know that they can suck your big fat chicken. Okay. And I'm saying that respectfully and as maturely as possible. You might be the nicest person ever, but that's what you're telling these people. So this is going to intensify the vibe. And I don't want to say people, these forces. Okay. So before we go in, I do want to mention a few things. One, I say this not as towards or against one side, but just to tell you the facts. While a lot of focus was on, the budding entertainment, there was a bill that was passed. The bill that was passed in this country that I would like to believe is compromised, but I don't want to sound biased, is in a nutshell fighting anti-Semitism and those who critique anti-Semitism, or use anti-Semitism to critique the country of Israel. Okay, take that information for what you will. Where now that this bill is passed, the government can take down media. It can literally threaten you for criticizing the country of Israel and being anti-Semitic, because anti-Semitism is really bad and you should not be anti-Semitic at all, right? Just like, you don't want to be an anti-vaxxer because that's super bad. All right. So with that being said, don't get yourself caught up in the antis. And the other thing I want to say is euphoria and family matters. Those for those of you who are interested in that, those are your two gems. And then of course we have the crown of this whole thing, Not Like Us. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's step into this new moon in Taurus ceremony, where I am going to, of course, break down this full moon cycle, but really the new moon cycle. So what we're going to talk about right now is, of course, the sun on the moon, its proximity with Venus, that is 8 degrees to the left of it, and then about, of course, the 4 degrees and the 6 degrees forward. Okay. The subsequent 4-day conjunction of Uranus is going to activate that cycle. And then in another like 7 days, we're going to start with Jupiter. We are within like a week and a half of chapter 2, the Sun Jupiter conjunction. Sun Jupiter conjunctions are very pivotal days. And given the way of everything that is gearing together, what is important is whatever the status quo and consensus of everything you've experienced over the past week is, it is currently being cemented right now. Whatever has been decided, whatever individuals are, of course, kind of moving forward with, this is the cement. All right. The construction crew is coming through and it is cementing. This is going to be the solid ground you're going to stand on. All right. And so this is making sure you're not standing on ground that's not solid and stable, because it will collapse. But for those of you who stand on proper values, when we step into Gemini season and this wind is blowing very hard, you're not going to sway when you see opinions that may not necessarily be the truth. You're going to allow the values you stand on to keep you through, because this Gemini season is going to be breezy. It's going to start with Jupiter, Venus, and the Sun in Gemini, star-studded cast. So like there's a lot of talking points that have been solidified that are going to expand. All right. Civil war is going to happen in this country. I'm not going to tell you when, but and it doesn't have to be bloody, by the way. None of it has to be bloody at all. But there is a conflict and a discourse that is going to happen. And we can use hip hop as an example, and we can even use what's happening with Israel and Palestine. All of these topics that have been brought up are going to be severely expanded upon over the rest of the year. Who didn't know that, right? But in understanding that the last time we had a civil war, your Neptune was in Aries and Uranus was in Gemini, and this movie is coming out, there are tensions that are going to come to a head, and we'll see whether these are averted or they fully clash. All right. Thankfully, with social media, talking points could be, dealt with in a matter of minutes to days as opposed to weeks. So that might make everything worse, but you never know. All right, we will definitely see. All right, so with that being said, we're having this in Taurus. The new moon in Aries activated new power. The new moon in Taurus is activating and manifesting new energy. We have 4 qualities of energy. We have natural individual energy, like the natural energy that runs your body, pumped by your heart and brain. And then we have Leo, solar energy, like the core of the sun, right? That pretty much lights up solar panels. And this is when you enter the realm of the supers. Then we have the pure energy, Scorpio, purity, nuclear energy, energy that you can cultivate from underground. And then we have the weird alien. I mean, we have a supernatural energy, cosmic energy, universal energy, the energy that strikes lightning through the displacement of electrons in their position with protons or whatever. So with that being said, okay, this Taurian natural energy activation is a continuation and application of the new moon in Aries. The power that we've activated generates energy. Physical raw power is strength. This is an example of how these dynamics play out. The power I need to push this forward is cardinal force, and their strength, the fixed strength that's needed to keep this in place, allows for me to angle with mutable perception so I can, incorporate all these aspects. So, of course, raw power in Aries becomes physical strength. Then we have Leo, which is a more spiritual, passionate strength, a heartfelt strength that is the courage you need in order to brave situations and conflict. And then you have psychological strength, psychic strength, strength from your psyche. All right, wisdom, that's Scorpio. And then you have knowledge, mental strength, Aquarius. So this is the physical strength counterpart that now gives us the firmware update of our bodies, but in a way where, unlike every other Taurus system and firmware update on our body we've had, this is a hardware update. So this isn't just like updating your PS2. This is you unboxing a PS3. This is a very outdated reference because there's like a higher PS. But like, how would you feel if you got the next new video game console and that was your body? Well, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So with that being said, okay, new moon in Pisces was the previous cycle that activated new magic, the magic of beliefs, trusting in the magic of new beginnings. We applied the belief 2 months ago in Pisces towards a direction with which we take our character, because now this belief influences who we believe we are. And this is what, of course, through authenticity, which was the lesson of Aries, making actions that are authentic to us, whether people like it or not. Like J. Cole apologizing and everybody getting on him because, oh, you don't do that, that's hip hop. Versus now, where they still feel the same way, but a lot more people are saying, you know what, J. Cole was right. J. Cole knew what he was doing. You know what? We owe J. Cole an apology. And that's just a really good example to use because it's letting you know how, in that moment, people may go against you walking your true path. And it doesn't mean they'll like it, but you're best doing what you got to do. You are best doing what you got to do. All right. And that doesn't necessarily change because now the actions we took to establish that we're grounding in quality and establishing values that manifest the nature of our character. This is what we've activated. So everything up until this point was grounding these actions. And now that we've built our platform, we're activating this. So I'm going to take us moving forward into what will be one of the most craziest Gemini seasons ever. The winds will be breezy. This is the first change. And with Jupiter, it's the winds of change, bringing back 12 years worth of evolution since 2012. And so the nature of Gemini season is dealing with the Pisces square. Don't get it twisted. Pisces are divine, but the negative side of Pisces likes to use illusions to create smoke screens. So there are going to be elements of maybe on both I'm not going to bring sides into this, but there will be that element in the negative where information can and will be suppressed because a lot is going to come out. A lot is going to come out. Okay. So basically, I'm going to give you an example that I don't mean towards or against the side, but just imagine if you see perhaps certain people talking about, their opinions on Palestine, right? That's the Gemini expression. And then the Pisces flip is uh, a news article that takes that video and says, two anti-Semites speaking poorly about Israel. You feel me? So basically, that's just an example. In order to brave that element of suppression, you must have values that you stand on. I'm just being honest. Because now, when the full brunt of corporate or powerful interests want to twist your hand, are you going to go against those values? Or are you going to, as is titled, seed the revolution? There are a lot of ideas that will rival 2012 and 2013 as far as like evolutionary, expansive, and in this sense innovative, that will bring in a new rollout of technology, much increase in finance, which we're going to talk about here as far as like your money and career opportunities being expanded because of new opportunities. All right. I think this is going to be really good for job creation. And this is also going to be a great cycle for those of you who have always wanted to work independently or build a new business or make a job. It doesn't have to be a whole business, but maybe you didn't know how to fit in your unique niche or eccentricity. This is going to click into gear. It's going to open up so much more possibility in fine tuning what makes you unique, what makes the quality of what you do stand out to others who do similarly to what you do. All right. And this is, of course, based on what you sow. So this is the sowing period, and 2 weeks from now is the reaping period. This is the applicable nature of astrology that takes it from pop psychology to alchemy through mathematics. So now that we're syncing this realization, we know that over the next 2 weeks, we will be sowing seeds of revolution. So over the next week, we could be mindful of, in this case, what do you want to begin? What do you want to start producing? You don't have to wait for the transit to do. And this could be arranged. You can start a week from now, but just know that the cycle has officially begun. Mathematically, it's actually in the constellation of Aries. But the reason why we don't use sidereal in that context, or use constellations, is because where we like to use our brains and think. Thinking helps me realize I probably shouldn't do that, because that's not what we do. So with that being said, okay, with that in mind, this enables us to now ground this application of the fire in Aries in ways that not only are establishing this groundedness in who you are, but with the presence of like three gods, Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. And I don't mean you should worship these gods. I mean, they're lords. They have rulership. The reason why the planets can be seen as gods or lords is because they maintain rulership and gravity, seriousness. So given that they have moons that revolve around them, it's taking the word Lord and God away from the religious connotation as something to worship, and more in a true form as a judge, as something that, of course, as a planet in the solar system, is a part of the balance we experience. So take with that information what you mean. They still have their own influence, maybe not through mystical rays, but of course through the angles made and the language those angles communicate. Because remember, this is a language, communicate. All right. So with that being said, we have Uranus and Jupiter, guys. So this is definitely a banger with 29 degrees Neptune in Pisces. Mars is in its dignity, Neptune and Venus is in its dignity. There's a lot of original perspectives, really kind of being expressed and returned to, values being returned to, and frauds being exposed. So with that being said, okay, really do expect a rapid acceleration of kinks that within you may not have been noticeable due to their auto nervous nature, or you being distracted by what's happening externally, because this is going to start to make more conscious sense. Gemini is the first perspective that's going to begin to wrap our minds and ideas and brain around what is happening. And this new moon in Taurus is going to activate a supernatural quality of your ability to harness energy, chi, ki. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to say is the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, which will be very significant if you were born in the late 80s through 90s with Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn. And even more significant if you were born late 70s through 80s with Uranus and Scorpio. This is establishing a new precedent. Let's just keep it 100,000%. We're getting ready to now, at some of the highest levels with 29-degree Neptune, establish new qualities, new inventions, maybe even new money. The way we spend money over the next 2 weeks in ways we've never really seen before, or repurposed in ways that are completely innovative. This cycle is going to draw us through to Jupiter in Sagittarius or Capricorn, while Uranus is in Cancer or Gemini. Okay, so this is a 6-year contract, or this is a 6-year cycle from Jupiter conjunct Uranus to Jupiter opposite Uranus. That's going to begin to harvest in 6 years. Now, then we're going to have 6 months from now where the sun is going to be opposite these points and begin to harvest that quality of the cycle. And then we're going to have 2 weeks from now where the moon is going to oppose this, and we will begin to understand what the sun 6 months from now will complete, what Jupiter 6 years from now will begin to harvest. Cycle math. All right. So that's how significant this is. And then on top of that, we know that Venus and the sun were originally on Pluto at the final degree. Now that it's making a 90 to 120 degree angle to Pluto, this is putting you in a position to break through the ground the integration of this awakening. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. This is your awakening supernatural God power. There, I said it. I know that's controversial for some people. Supernatural God power and energy, the force. So the force that over 3 months ago you have activated now is breaking through the ground through what? Taurus, your body. This is supernatural mental force that has integrated. It's beginning to integrate through your body. Do you see where I'm going? You're manifesting the you're manifesting the power you awakened at the end of last year and the beginning of this year at the final level. This is it. This is it. This is it. All right. And not only is this it, I mean, there's different cycles of manifestation, but we're coming back around this. This is you passing go and collecting 200 million. So with that being said, it's not billion, trillion, gazillion. So you have an unlimited amount of anything. Trust me. All right. You really want to move forward. Like, I need you to convince yourself and impressing your subconscious that you do. And there's 300 plus people who are going to set the intention that that's true for you. So we're hooking it up. This is our seed ritual. All right. The new moon rituals hit different. So that being said, just make sure with Neptune 29 degrees and Saturn that's sextiling this, Saturn sextiling this requires integrity of your beliefs so that this maintains the quality of what values you're standing on. And it's also going to super boost and charge the supernatural experience you'll be manifesting and how well you'll be able to like perceive it. All right. And kind of incorporate metaphysical aspects. For example, me using cartomancy, like, you know, the fact that I can draw a card and predict events, it's there's still an element of it that's metaphysical because it's invisible. You can't necessarily see how I did that. So now in strengthening the discipline that I'm doing this with, you're going to see, guys, the skills you've been working on, as mundane or ridiculous they are, they're leveling up. The natural quality of what you're doing is leveling up, like taking the branding of everything you did and just completely putting gloss over it or making it holographic. So this sextile is a super important facet of this because we had the new moon on Saturn. So this is the official 60-degree angle that is opening the door and preparing us for the square. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be a nasty square, y'all. This summer is going to be ridiculous. This is going to be a nasty square. Like, we just went through this period. We don't know how the rest is going to end. And this is going to set up a breezy Gemini season. I don't mean breezy easy. I mean like windy. The discourse, the things we're going to be talking about is all right. Trust me. So with that being said, though, this 60-degree angle is important because this was an activation of Saturn we did for the first time this year in Pisces. And now for the first time, this is giving grounding to metaphysical concepts that we only just began to see the sparks of in Aries, beliefs, narratives that are going to begin to, over the next 30 days, actually land. Oh God, this is going to be lit. So with that being said, because we have this 90-degree angle in tandem with the conjunction of Uranus, this growing through the ground of awakening energy is going to now, with Uranus and Jupiter, skyrocket and evolve. That is why there's going to be an extraordinarily supernatural quality to the rapid acceleration of your development over the next 2 weeks. And by the time you get into Gemini season, this is going to fundamentally break through an ascended perspective of what you're experiencing as you get ready to activate the Gemini cycle and begin to literally create abilities. That is new magic, new perspective, activate enlightenment so that we can move forward in Cancer and begin to integrate this activation of our personality and who we are. Activation of who you are is your identity in Aries, your values in Taurus, and your ideas, the expression of who you are and your values. Basic shit, quite literally basic. This is before we get intermediate in the next 3 with the supers, and then we start to get advanced with the last 3. Yeah, the best class is Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. Our ops. Shout out to Uriel. All right. So with that being said, you feel me? Okay. Oh my god, I need a with that being said counter. I'm just saying this so much. So with that being okay, regarding that, all right, yeah, this is it. I want you to see how this is the vantage point. Like, there's nothing that's forward from this. The moon is about to take the lead right now. All right, that's going to be followed subsequently by Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. So everything moving forward is you getting ready to step through, of course, new precedents. All right. So relative to that, um, there's a variability of these new precedents. It doesn't have to be specific things. We could take everything, and with the nature of Saturn here, it's going to tie in literally everything. It's like it's all going through an update. And cool, within a week, we will start to already see that breaking through the ground. So let's talk about it. Let's break down the math, and then we'll do the ritual. So while I'm doing this, I want you to just, you don't have to be like, I have an unlimited amount of anything. I have an unlimited amount of anything. I have an unlimited amount of anything. You literally can just meditate personally. You literally can just keep your mind focused and just think and just start to build that. All right. I want you to think. And thank you, Amy, for gifting the membership. All right. I want you to think, smell, feel. The Taurus is your five senses. So you have an unlimited amount of anything right now. What are you smelling right now? What are you seeing visually? What are you hearing? How are you sensing? What does it feel like to have an unlimited amount of anything coming directly from you in whatever form? And as you kind of move forward, that's it. All right. And we'll move forward from there. This is revolutionary in the sense now that we're adding a Uranian radical element to Taurus, your sense of self-worth. We want to crank the notch up on the crazy dial, and it's not really crazy, but just set the assumption that your net worth is infinity. You're literally worth infinity. All right. I want you to embrace how crazy that would be in a post-materialist reductionist world, who, for economic purposes, so we don't start arguing about what people believe, we now equate net worth to physical assets. Okay. So really embrace that and don't shortchange yourself. Look at me. We're Infinity Gang. We're a clique of infinity heirs. All right. We have an unlimited amount of anything. If you have to feel Delulu to embrace that, welcome to the Delulu Club. Then it is what it is. But this is what we're moving forward as. It's okay to fall into insecurity, even though this new moon is going to bring up every insecurity you've ever had, so you could just deal with it. It's okay to value yourself. It's okay to know your worth. When you start knowing your worth, that's when those who have leverage against you not start to show their true colors. Let them switch up and tell them to stay on that side. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. So with that being said, oh God, I said that again. With that being said, okay, we have an unlimited amount of anything. All right. And let that be a value that influences your actions. Someone who can never be bought, someone who can never be manipulated, because there's nothing that anybody can give you because you have an unlimited amount of anything. How freeing is that? How awesome is that? Let's really sit in that. All right. Pretty dope, isn't it? And so now the seeds of revolution are being sowed. Those of you who have been guided along this path and journey with your perspective signs and synchronicities and the support you get with people in your real life and celestially, you are getting ready to see everything that is needed in order for you to be a part of your role in this collective revolution materialize in front of your eyes. It's, of course, your responsibility for how you manage it, but know that this cycle is starting with Mars transiting through Aries. So Mars going through Aries is taking the conflicts that are going through the world and in your immediate environment, and it's plugging you directly into what you can do. Many of you may have felt restless, especially with Chiron, as far as, damn, I want to be able to help with this, or I want to be able to help with this, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what I could effectively do. Cool. Because what to do is literally coming up over the rest of this month. Mars activating the North Node is going to tie you into your own individual role and mission while you are activating the platforms, while you are activating the values you will stand on. This is you literally materializing your position. So as we move forward, keep this in mind. It is quite literally go time. The battle has been won, and now we're ready to approach the war. A strong start will enable us to secure a strong finish. So please make this count. And let's give it up to Amy Harris, who is making it rain ridiculous out here gifting memberships. We appreciate you. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. All right. Shout out to you. That is awesome. So with that being said, it feels like war already because already two places are in a state of war. So it is war. If it wasn't, Aries season brought it in. So this is now the part of the war where you gear up because we're getting ready to go outside through Gemini and the Leo, especially by summer. All right. You don't want to rush this process. The first thing I want to say is the vocalization of people, because you have to understand people in polarized extreme moments like this, people are feeling very extreme about what it is they are standing for. Like Pluto squaring Aquarius is intensifying how extreme people are about their values collectively. So that's why it's hard for certain people to not understand why people disagree with their stance. This is all based on values. So for certain people, right, they feel like if they see something, they're going to label that this is what it is to them. And that may be the truth. But there is somebody else feeling extremely in the opposite direction. All right. I'm going to use what's happening in the Middle East as an example, or in that area. You have people who very extremely feel like a certain group of people are being genocided and that the actions of certain countries are aiding in that. And you have people who very extremely feel like that force is stopping terrorism. So like the person who feels like there's a genocide is not going to understand why the other person feels so extremely. Okay. First of all, this is the bait and switch. They got y'all divided again. And they doesn't even have to be a boardroom. They could represent celestial forces playing. I'm not trying to personify. I'm not trying to say it has to be your responsibility, but they got y'all again. Because the only way that we're going to avoid war and conflict is if people can get through their extreme values and reach a middle ground. But when certain people are calling for ceasefires and other people are rejecting it for whatever reasons, and I'm not saying specifically where the shoe fits, but you know what I'm saying? These just flare up a whole lot of sentiments. Okay. And the point that I want to kind of really make here is the extremeness of people standing on their values. So keep that in mind as this will be projected towards you. People are going to project and share, so maybe even unsolicitedly, what they think you should be doing with your values and your platforms. And they're coming from whether manipulative or passionate places, meaning very well or wanting to push an agenda. And in both cases, it could be both in a case. Okay, I'm just giving you the range of how this may go. All right. And it is imperative. This is what I beg of you. You have to stay 10 toes. You are not black and white. So for some of you, you might have interests that are unique to you. You might not be like certain people who they only believe this, and then these people only believe that. You might think this way about this, but this way about that, but this way about this, and this way about that. And that unique combination makes you uniquely you. So you want to make sure you don't get caught up in the extremeness of the myriad of intensifying voices that will, whether meaning well or not, really push you to do certain things, think certain things, feel certain things. Okay? Please don't feel like you're pressured to believe something just because other people feel like you are doing something heinous just by not saying anything or doing anything. That could be the action for you to just chill right now or to do something. If you feel like you need to take a side or do something, please make it based on your values and something that is truly you. Do you know what I'm saying? For example, someone who isn't really about it like that. They're not really about, and when I say about it, let's say like a protest, right? You have people who are full-fledged activists, like they really do that, right? But maybe you're just swayed by public opinion to really go outside and make a difference. If that's not who you are in your heart, I don't care if those activists threaten you and say, we're not going to respect you. Don't do that. Those activists, they live and breathe that. That's who they are. If that's not who you are, don't get, do not get tricked in fighting for other people's causes. It is okay to walk your path, even if you walk alone. Just make sure that is authentically you, because any inauthenticity in that action will be revealed and derail you. All right. If that is you, then you already know what to do. And the grounding will, so that's the most important part, because it's Gemini season. A lot of ideas, a lot of ideas. A lot of people are gonna have so much to say, especially as soon as the moon goes into Gemini season, Gemini in the next couple of days. So just be very, 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 very mindful. Okay, be very, 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 very mindful of that. Mindful. We're also bringing in classic stereotypes as far as coolness, as far as what's considered cool, as far as what's considered the in thing. We're seeing generational shifts relative to the 60s and again the 80s and 2000s. So this is coming into a more authentic, real name. People are done with the fake shit. People are finally done with the fake shit. Like, and that has a lot to do with Neptune coming out of Pisces. Neptune has just been exposing the delusion through Pisces with Pisces. Okay. And instigating it too. But with that, you know, this allows you to tap into a more centered, grounded, and less manipulated space where you can allow things to grow without fake stuff. Just, oh my God. All right. Anyway, let's go over the next 2 weeks. Remember, the affirmation is I have an unlimited amount of anything. I have an infinite supply of anything, an unlimited amount of anything. Anything. Really. I can just open my drawer right now. I literally have every donut that I want. You see how now I can build a world. I can build a world in my imagination that supports this. This doesn't have to be a chore for you. How delighted would it be? You know what I'm saying? If you had an unlimited amount of anything, it'd be normal for you. After like 2 weeks, after like 2 weeks, Gazoon tight. Bless me. You're welcome. I'm just after like 2 weeks, it's not going to feel new anymore. you're just going to feel regular about it. So you when you do manifestation like that, you don't have to feel excited. You can feel excited, but you don't. The best way to feel is neutral because you've always had that. So you just have to focus and think as if, and we're going to get into the mechanics of that. So, you know what? Let's start the first part of the ritual now, and then in case anyone joins later, we'll do it again. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to sow these seeds right now. I want you to, in your mind's eye, imagine a plentiful field. I want you to see what that field looks like in your mind's eye. What do you see? You can have your eyes open or closed. Okay. And now I want you to think about the nature. What does the field look like to you? What are you seeing? This is going to be a really fun ritual. You guys are going to like this. You guys are going to like this. All right. So I want you to, you can write down on paper, what do you see? Right. Yeah. What's on the field? All right. And now I want you to see a box. What does the box look like? What is the nature of this box, chest, right? And when you open this box on this field that you own, okay, your pastures, I want you to open this treasure chest and you see 2 seeds, okay? In fact, you see seeds. How many seeds do you see? They don't have to be just 2 seeds. How many seeds do you see? What's the nature of the seed? What does the seed look like? What's the quality of the seed? Right? Once again, for those of you who've just joined us, we're starting the ritual. We're seeding the revolution. 18-degree conjunction, we're sowing our seeds. So basically, what is you're in front of a huge field right now. You're in front of a field. You're in front of a pasture. What does the field look like in your mind's eye right now? What does this field look like? What's on the field? Okay. And now on this field, there's a box, there's a chest. What does the box look like? What is the quality of the box? How big is the box? And then when you open that box, there's seeds in it. How many seeds are there? What seeds are there? What's the quality of the seeds? What does the seed look like? All right. Okay. Now, I want you to hold that seed in your mind's eye. Okay. Hold that seed in your mind's eye. And I want you to channel your energy and intention in the seed. And if you don't like the word channel, just set an intention and imagine that that intention is going into that seed. All right. And so now collectively, as you have this seed in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine that you're connecting with everyone in this chat. Normally I like to use the imagination of us holding hands or us being in a party in a room. But right now you're in your field. Okay, you're holding the seed in your hand or seeds, however many seeds. You're going to get ready to plant these seeds. But before we do that, you're going to, of course, set the intention within it. So you can imagine a chord, you can get creative with it, you can just affirm, I'm connecting with everyone. Honestly, because we're all here together, it's already combining, but acknowledging that really does strengthen it. All right, so we're all going to connect right now. After I say 3, 2, 1, I want you to set the intention, channel in the seed. I have an unlimited amount of anything. 3, 2, 1. I have an unlimited amount of anything. We have an unlimited amount of anything. We have an unlimited amount of anything. Okay. I want you to, in your mind's eye, now, also on top of that, anything that you have, anything you want to have, anything that you over the next 2 weeks have a goal you want to work towards, any wish that you think is impossible to happen, I want you to set that intention as if you have it, not that you want it. All right. If you feel like you need a car, be like, I have this model car. I have it. Okay. Now, here's the thing, Saturn is square this. So there is discipline needed and there is a commitment. Everything that you are cementing here, you have to have this discipline to commit to knowing and believing you have it. You can't give up because you get exhausted. Kronos is going to be pissed because Kronos is processing this through the realm of the metaphysical. And if you just dissipate the belief, it's like you're asking it to bring it, and you're wavering, you're lukewarm. So make sure whatever it is you wish to have, all right, literally whatever it is you Pisces to Taurus you wish to have, right, you commit to that just by thinking and assuming as if that's it. And we're going to provide the tools that will help you. All right. So I want you to just continue channeling that, intending that, envisioning that all that intention is going into the seed. Okay. And when you're ready, I want you to plant that seed in the fertile soil. Now you've planted those seeds and intentions. I want you to now bring out the water and of course pour some water on that, water it a little bit. And finally, now that we've planted that, I want you to examine seeing how it grows. Are you coming back to watch it grow over time? Has it already grown? And cool. So that is the ritual. I wanted to do it after the transits, but I'm glad we did it now. We'll do a doubling down on setting an intention again, but I'm glad we kind of just set the seed. Now let's go back. The nature of the garden or the pasture you have is a reflection of your sense of self-worth. Was it huge? Was it very rich? Was it very colorful? That speaks to you being very conscious and very excited about what you're worth, right? The more stuff you saw on that field is the more stuff you believe you're worth, right? Versus if you didn't really visualize that much, or if you didn't necessarily see things too real, it doesn't mean you're not as valuable. You don't feel as valuable about yourself, but it's not real for you. It's more a concept in your head, right? It's not something that you tap into physically. It's just something you might know. All right. Versus people who've seen it very richly and they saw everything, it's very real for you. Like you're able to smell it and feel it. Okay. One isn't necessarily better than the other, but this is just going to give you insight as what you may want to balance. Now especially however much bigger it is, if your field was huge, like if you saw acres along acres, you're manifesting a lot. You're getting ready to manifest a lot. If you didn't really see that far, you don't feel like you need that much. You're not someone who feels like you need to have a lot. So you probably aren't someone that needs like so much acres. You're probably not gonna, right? Something to keep in mind. Neither is better than the others, but it's just something to make. And let me know if this is accurate for you. This doesn't have to be accurate for you, but I just want to play this game. Okay. So now the chest, right? The box. What was the quality of the box? Okay. If it was like a decked out bedazzled treasure chest, right? If it was like a very extravagant box that looked like had a lot of quality, then that represents your sense of quality. Like you feel like what you're going to manifest is like of the utmost quality. Like you value having great structure. The quality has to be important. If it was something that was very unique, if it wasn't a regular box, you value stuff that's outside the box. Quite literally, like you're going to come into something that's never before seen. If it was simple, if it wasn't necessarily bedazzled, if it was just like a simple box, you really value simplicity. You don't necessarily need things to be extra quality. You really value things to just be simple, straight to the point. You like, it doesn't really matter to you. Okay. Once again, neither is right or wrong. This is just giving you an idea of the quality of what you're going to manifest and how it's going to align with what you want. Now, the seeds. Okay, if it was a vintage box, you like vintage. You like vintage. Okay, that's your aesthetic. Let me know if that's right or wrong. It could be wrong. But with that being said, now, how many seeds did you have? If you had unlimited seeds, if you saw a lot of seeds, let me tell you, you're going to manifest so fucking much. The amount of seeds you saw was your subconscious mind telling you, hey, you have a lot of stuff. You have stuff so much you don't even know that's coming through. All right. If you had like a few seeds, then it's going to be focused in those few things. They could be big, they don't have to be as big, but it's giving you an idea. If you had like one seed, for example, then there's one thing that you're going to manifest relative to what you channeled in it, right? But of course, quality over quantity and quality. It doesn't matter if you have more or less, but it's letting you know, like Jenny D had 3 seeds. There's probably going to be 3 major things subconsciously that are going to grow and she's going to be made conscious of. All right. If they were, whether they're big seeds or the quality of the seed, if the seed was very hard, if the seed was very, very hard to break, if the seed, had a very, round quality, then this represents your will of intention. It's something that's not going to break. It's something that's going to really last. If the seed was very brittle, if it was easily breakable, then be very mindful because maybe, you might have a belief in it, but it could be very shaken. All right. But once again, neither is better than the other. Just be mindful, especially if it's brittle. You might have a different interpretation of that as well. All right. So with that being said, especially if it was like the giant seeds represent maybe generational long-term things you'll be manifesting. Okay. And now the nature of the growth, if you planted the seeds and just waited for it over time, if you kind of walked away and you knew that they were going to grow, right, then you're going to take your time on this. You're going to take your time on, of course, what's going to come. You have no problem allowing things to happen. If maybe you saw it grow immediately, right? That's a sense of urgency from your subconscious letting you know this is going to manifest immediately. Now, for everyone watching, there's going to be things that manifest immediately and over time. But for those of you who've seen it grow instantly, get ready. Like, this is going to happen fast. And for those of you who saw sprouts or, to grow gradually, you might see spurts and then it grows gradually. So just be mindful of that. So yeah, I want to share that exercise with you guys and yeah, remix it. I'm going to see if I can come up with new versions of that. I just came up with that on the fly. And yeah, that being said, we planted that seed. It's in your mind's eye. And now anytime you think about this intention. What I want you to do is just revisit that and just focus on this seed that's grown. You can see it fully grown, or you can see it as it's growing. Okay, thank you. This is really fun. This is definitely really fun. So that's it. We have sowed our seeds. Now that we've sowed our seeds and set our wishes, I want every single one of you to set the intention that everyone else who you are connected with in this, their intentions come true too. Now that we've solidified and now sowed our seeds, 340 plus people are setting the intention that your seeds grow too. Modern alchemy. Okay, we did the Taurus. This is the Pluto Aqua part and the Saturn Pisces part that's now interconnecting and interweaving everyone individually, using this as a focal point. Simple magic. All right. So that being said, if you click the description box below, you're going to see a video for a manifestation video. You're going to see no action needed. And you're also going to see the ultimate guide to the law of assumption. I recommend you watch all three of those. Take the affirmation, I have an unlimited amount of anything. And please listen, anything you want. I want you to pretend that you can snap your fingers and materialize anything you want. I want you to take those intentions and I want you to watch those videos. I promise you, because of the presence of Uranus and Jupiter, the whole notion of you not noticing the real time nature of what you intend and what happens, this is the precedent that's going to change, especially sextile Saturn, that's going to make this a lot more noticeable. So if you watch those videos down below, or if you already practice it, I promise you, you will see results within 24, 48 hours. I have proof of course, just saying we've all had experience, of course, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Buddha. Buddha has given me receipts like twice. I remember I said, without even putting any energy or effort to it, just once, money flows to me naturally and easily. And I got next day $700. Yes, it came in an email that I had for a 401k. I could show you those receipts right now. And I didn't know I still had that. And then the next time I did that, my TuneCore account hit me up. Hey, you have $400. We're about to take that if you don't take. So this stuff works, man. This stuff works, man. And it's not like I was desperate too. Like, I need the money. I was just like, you know what? Let me try this out. Money flows to me naturally. That's it. That's it. And I've told you the stories about manifesting $1,000 in a day. That shit fucking works. Okay. So everything you touch turns to gold. I want now with Uranus and Jupiter here, this is going to take that concept and it's going to exponentially multiply this and expand this to the next level. If you thought you've ever manifested, welcome to the next level. This is the firmware update. And that's why with Saturn and Pisces, you have to have integrity of beliefs, because if you don't have integrity of your beliefs, you will manifest nightmares if you're not on point. There's an unconscious sense of things that you may believe that will just manifest. So you have to make sure you stand on proper values and you're real with yourself. You're real about what you want and you're real about who you are, because we here. Okay. And so that's it. Cool. Now that we know that, we have an unlimited amount of anything straight like that. Let's talk about how this is going to unfold. So this is the activation of the most innovative, expansive manifestation of your natural quality. Now, as far as what that natural quality is as it relates to you and how you're going to experience it, that's the Moon in Gemini chapter. This represents true value. The trine of Pluto is going to help you understand the truth of this extreme energy you're awakening. And it's also going to manifest this cycle by producing a true perspective of what you're worth. So you're manifesting the true value of this activation. Because it's going to square Saturn, this is where lies and bullshit are going to attempt to obfuscate the truth. But it's also going to help you now understand the thought process to support beliefs that you will now begin to see quite literally manifest. All right. This change of our perception as we are now understanding the true nature of this work will now push forward the direction we feel in. This will anchor with Saturn and Neptune. And this is what's going to open the door into the emotional intelligence of how we feel about the value we've manifested. And that's very important because that 60 degree to 90 degree angle is activating this supernatural energy. Well, natural energy in Taurus, but supernatural with Uranus and Jupiter. This is what's going to help you feel your life force energy. All right. And on top of that, because now Jupiter is in 26 degrees, by the time the moon goes into Leo and begins to integrate, we begin the Uranus conjunction. Okay. So the Uranus conjunction establishes this new precedent since last year. Last year, I believe we had it like 18 degrees, 19 degrees. So this is the first year we're having it in the third decade. Okay. Boom. This is very revolutionary. Okay, this is what's going to this is where it's just going to be crazy, guys. This is, I'm not gonna lie, like we're getting this grounding, and then we're instantly going to innovate, and then we're going to evolve it. Okay, so this is putting not a new spin, but definitely a new flavor. So the 90-degree angle is what we're planning right now, right? Everything that we're planning right now is going to break through the ground coming into like next week. Okay, once we have this 90-degree angle, let me explain the science of that. So the reason why that's very important is Taurus represents your natural value. We integrate Taurus into Leo because there's what you're worth, but there's the courage to bring it to the market. Okay. So we integrate your self-esteem and natural value that breaks through the ground through the confidence and courage that you bring your quality on stage to perform. This is social integration. You're taking the quality of what you have, and now through social pressure and now integration, you are putting together and expressing that quality of it. So this is what's going to help you feel what you're passionate in understanding your value, what you are willing to perform about what you're worth. Because by the time this starts going to Virgo, you're about to be rich as fuck. You're about to make a lot of money. Okay, especially with the trine of Mercury going to the moon, squaring Pluto, which is going to ground your thought process in order to understand how all of this is tying together, how you are getting ready to harvest the seeds you sowed, and how your behavior is changing. Because, mind you, the moon in Gemini is going to help you understand what these seeds are worth. And then the moon in the Virgo is going to take the experimentation of what it's worth and begin to analyze that value based on what it's worth. We know that this is worth this. So now we're going to take it into the market. And even though this is worth like $50, I went to the market and I skillfully was able to sell it for 100 because I'm nice like that, right? This is where you're going to understand how these market dynamics work, how you're getting ready to experience the physical nature of how this actually manifests. All right. This is also going to be a really classic how to manifest day. And what's really awesome about this is the peak of this transit at 27 degrees, because that is where not only Venus reaches Uranus, ancient twin flames, but the sun starts chapter 2, baby, with Jupiter. That's how epic everything moving forward is. So why is that important? If you thought the last week and the week before was epic, that was just the setup. Isn't that crazy? Everything that we just went through over the past 2 weeks was to position and make sure how we're going to address everything moving forward. It truly, like Aries kicked it off, but now this is getting ready to kick off a brand new chapter. So that moon in Virgo is going to be in a week and a half is going to be very crucial. Everything that we're manifesting now, we're going to start to integrate how we express its value. It's like we make an investment, we pass go collect $200, and now in the moon in Virgo, we're like, okay, we're going to spend 20 here, we're going to use that, like how we're going to invest, how we're going to actually integrate this stuff. Okay. And once the sun reaches peak Taurus, 28 and 29, that's it, my friend. That's a wrap, skis. We're going to prepare for the full moon in Sag. So we have now reached the end of Taurus. This is the Taurus season phase. At this stage, we've sowed seeds with the moon. The sun has sowed seeds with Uranus, Uranus with Venus, and Sun and Jupiter with Venus. Based on how everything is right now, this is going to, of course, intensify the peak degree of quality in understanding how over the first week we individually think and feel about what we're worth, and then how coming into next week we take how we think and feel of our values and begin to start integrating it with others, which is just arguing crazy with other people. It's just setting up the argument. It's just like, oh, you believe this? Oh, you believe that? Oh, you believe that? And then once we get into Gemini season, well, I think this. Well, I think that. Well, you're wrong. Well, this is. But we're not there yet. So we're setting up the booth and the platform, and we're sprucing it up, and we're like, yeah, they don't know what I'm cooking. And this is it. This is it. This is going to set the tone for the rest of the year. All right. So this is the Taurus season portion. As far as the manifestation with the moon in Gemini, you're understanding what it feels like to have an unlimited amount of anything. And then when it's in Cancer, you're wearing those clothes. You're feeling, okay, now that I've programmed, this is what I think about it. Now I'm feeling it. Then with the moon in Leo, you take that feeling socially, you begin to integrate it. And then in Virgo, you start to understand how, oh, okay, when someone is like, oh, you know, if you need help, I got you. And then you respond, oh, no, it's cool. I got an unlimited amount of anything. Meanwhile, you have $0 freaking dollars in your bank account, right? Or you might even have negative in your bank. This is just extreme example, but it still doesn't stop you from maintaining that. All right. You're not maintaining a bravado. It doesn't mean you still can't accept help, but this is what you know. You understand you have. This is the radical Uranian element that if you're not like that, I'm sorry, you're not going to level up to this next level. It's going to look fucking delusional. I'm going to be honest. It's going to look crazy as hell. It's going to look crazy as hell, but you don't have to be crazy as hell. You can ground this. So you're going to, okay. So once we get to the moon in Libra, this is balancing the full integration of how you will create the behavior of your manifestation routine. By moon in Libra, you're going to understand a manifestation routine, the social understanding of how to take your values and integrate that with other people. And this is what will set up the behavioral element through the initial sun in Gemini. So once the sun goes into Gemini, we're taking the quality of just really adding up our values. And now we're going to begin to think about them as we have them. So instead of just focusing on, I have an unlimited amount of anything, now going through Gemini, we can begin to communicate it. Wow. I love that I just ate pancakes that I have an unlimited amount of, and you're starting to, activate it. And, I think it's awesome that I never have to worry about, where I need to, you're literally building the vocabulary and programming. Last year, Gemini season, we were programming our spiritual AI. So this is coming back to now expand the vocabulary of our spiritual intelligence, or spiritual AI, as I like to say. All right. So that's going to bring us to the Gemini season portion. The moon is going to enter Scorpio, and we're going to come into a pure integration into this next stage of enlightenment. Now, here's the coolest part about the beginning of Gemini season. We immediately have the square. We immediately have the trine to Pluto, and that shit is going to be gangster, baby. Now, here's the thing. Mars will conjunct the North Node. So I want to highlight while we're at that peak period where the sun is sextiling Neptune, a position that we haven't seen in like over 160 years. This is huge. Okay. This is going to ground this peak level of intuitive capability. And those of you born 98 with Neptune and Capricorn, it's time. All you 28, 29 degree Neptune and Capricorns that are just beyond psychic, don't think I don't know. Other people they don't know how psychic you are. I have an idea. Okay, this is going to open the door. Pluto's going to retrograde. It's going to awaken this for good. Don't think I don't know. Y'all are what? I'm sorry. I sound that way. I'm just saying, like, don't think I don't know. Yeah, some of you have children born 98, 97. You don't even know how psychic they are. You don't even know how, now they're awakening the power where they can get away with it. They can use their psychic abilities to get away with shit. All right. Unless you got some 29 degree placements, then you'll catch it. I mean, that's your kid, right? So you'll know. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Because some parents got the psychic stuff, the older generational psychic stuff. So it is like you Neptune Scorpios in the 60s. We see you Neptune Sagittarius in the 80s. But like, yeah, y'all, this is no joke. Mars is going to be activating the mission at the end of Taurus season. So from now until the 20th of May, the bulk of May is you stockpiling. We reach that peak, boom, we activate the mission. Mars on the North Node, very crucial. And you know what's very symbolic about this? The moon in Libra, as you start your mission, is helping you understand how to balance your steps. So that because there could be that rush of just moving forward, but the moon is going to help you understand and read the room. The moon, the social understanding is giving you a social context. You're reading the room, so it'll help temper how you really approach and take action, which is really fucking awesome. So once we get to the Pluto trine to the sun is going to be so gangster because one, it's during moon in Scorpio. All right. Two, the moon is going to oppose Jupiter and Venus and Neptune. Now, here's the thing. Because Uranus and Venus are involved, they're going to be, from all through this month, very uncanny, almost impossibly seeming supernatural soulmate connections and twin flame connections that throughout the rest of this week and next week are just going to kind of come together. All right. The unexpected nature of this is going to be Venus and Uranus, that with Mars on the North Node will make it seem like you're in the right place at the right time. And the connectivity with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces is going to fulfill God's promise on synchronicities and signs you have seen. For some of you, you have been seeing models and archetypes. Models as in people modeling certain representations of the type of people who you identify with and the type of being you want to be with platonically or romantically. And you may have mistaken them for maybe a lifelong partner versus some of you who you may have been doubting that someone who may be a lifelong partner is actually a lifelong partner, especially certain people who you didn't necessarily meet too soon, but maybe you might have tried to rush things too quickly. So this is now the fertile ground with which out of your control sequences will naturally, the keyword for Taurus is naturally, this new moon in Taurus is natural beginnings that you will be able to let occur. So it's not really anything you can manipulate or fuck up because you're going to be at the right place at the right time as you are standing on values that even if you have to take certain sacrifices, right? Certain people who you may like or wanted to get to know, but their values run contrary to yours. So you choose your values and authenticity over what you want. You're going to be rewarded for that. Trust me, like huge. It's never easy, right? You're not compromising. There's nothing wrong with compromising where necessary, but you're not compromising for less than your worth. All right. So with that being said, I'm just letting you know that right now we are within range. None of this is going to make sense. So if you're trying to be, you can apply logic, but there are things outside the box of your framework of logic that you will now have to make room for, because this is the new precedent. It has everything to do with the evolution of your natural ability to process and manifest energy. So yeah, y'all. Relative to that, okay, Venus going on Jupiter is going to take these unconventional dynamics, whether with people far away from you, age differences, same age or different race culture, same race culture, just doing eccentric things or unconventional things. There is unconventionality that will be applied. Is now also immediately going to evolve. But you coming together with a concept, an idea, a situation, a job, a person, this is immediately going to level up over the next few weeks, but it's immediately going to be felt because of the sextile to Neptune. That's going to bring it a greater bang, because now this is a Gemini expression signature, 60 degrees, while Mars is moving forward. All right. So just something to keep in mind. The moon opposite in Scorpio is helping you understand the deeper wisdom of what's activating. So you understand what it is you have. All right. In ways that also integrate socially and take what you have and share with others in a way that is very pure. And that, ladies and gentlemen, sets up one of the most important full moons ever, featuring Venus and subsequently Jupiter. Okie dokie. Okay. And that's where we will reconvene in 2 weeks. This is definitely going to be a magical round of mutable seasons. Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces. Gemini gives us a perspective of the first quarter, Virgo the second quarter, Sag the third, and Pisces the fourth. So everything that we just set up, we're going to begin to produce the effect for. And that means everything's going to begin to happen Gemini season. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to pull a pick a card reading, and then I'm going to share a bonus video for those of you who would like to. Once again, I've provided the links in the description box below. For those of you who've just joined, I want you to set an intention on top of this base intention. Right now, you have an unlimited amount of anything. Congratulations. I want you to set an intention, as many as you want, wishes, goals, and then I want you to set the intention that everyone else's wish and intention comes true, and you've joined the Infinity Club. We have an unlimited amount of anything in this gang, and we're a resource that hooks each other up because we got it like that. Okay, so I think that's fucking awesome. I'm going to pull a few cards. This is going to test your self-esteem. Certain people like to make jokes because they hide behind their insecurity. And you'll see this in a lack of directness. And they can obfuscate with jokes that really mask their true intentions. And you're going to make them very uncomfortable because of the radical nature of how you stand in your value, and because they're weak, stupid little bitches and they don't want no smoke with you. So, with that being said, this is most definitely going to have you feel the growing pains of evolving past W and SLBs. That being said, we're going to pull 4 cards in the pile. In the pile. In the pile. In the pile. All right. We have the Tower. This is Mars. So this is going to hit instantly. As soon as we end this broadcast, expect the unexpected. This is going to be a Tower moment that you'll be able to adapt to. All right. So don't be too perturbed. This could be unexpected lottery win. All right. Or a car crash. But whatever happens with this Tower event is giving you a straight redirection or an unveiling of what's up. This really is just instant enlightenment. So yeah, be prepared. This is going to be amazing. Now we have pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 cards each pile. The first card is going to be what is the quality of, what is the quality you're manifesting through this, and then what's the outcome of your intention. Okay. uh Take it with a grain of salt. If you don't like the message, just don't take it. Whatever one resonates with you, you could take that. All right. And yeah, I'm just really giving you concepts and ideas at this point. But we make magic over here. So we're gonna start with pile 1. Before I start with pile 1, be very mindful. Psychic warfare is very real. So there are going to be weaker forces and influences that attempt to engage in psychologically manipulative practices in order to break your confidence in psyche and have you feeling less confident. And they're going to be feeling the tension and energy that it's not working because you're standing on your value. And then they'll try and manipulate with maybe their authority, false authority, rank, age, credence, or whatever. And as they realize that you operate outside that dimension, you will see the darker forces that are puppet stringing them. So be mindful of it. And yeah, welcome to the club. All right. We are unshakable. We are infinite. We are eternal. We are endless. And if you pick pile 1, the quality you're manifesting is the Chariot. You're a winner, especially with the Tower card. You're the overnight success. So you're coming into a victory that's based on your own willpower and determination. Nobody woke up from that bed but you, and you made your goals happen. So that's the quality that you're manifesting. Victory that's going to push everything you're working on directly forward and build momentum. This is great if you're starting something new or if you're already working on a project. So congratulations. And the outcome of this is the Lovers, which is very interesting because the Chariot card on its own is so busy. This is one of those cards that doesn't have time for romance. So if anything, I can see this for some of you as winning the prize of love. This for pile 1, if you wanted to shoot your shot ever, this is definitely the period to shoot your shot. Whether at one or certain interests, because it's going to go through. The Lovers card as an outcome is connecting your mind and heart and being a lot more creatively passionate. But let's be honest, it's being with your soulmate. It's having really great sex with a love partner. All right. And I really like that you manifesting this more independent, driven quality will add so much more attractiveness to you and put you in that state to really just kind of command and create that. So that's amazing. Pile 2. Oh shit. The quality you're manifesting is organization. So you're creating a organization, a group. You're manifesting the quality of course, wisdom through the knowledge that you'll be able to teach. So if you pick pile 2, you know a lot and you're going to be able to really teach people the keys. Like if you pick pile 2, you should probably create a club. You would gain, whether it's a club online or a mini organization, or you're a part of a huge organization, you have the great potential to organize and draw people together. This is like picking a church, you know what I mean? Or creating a church where people can congregate and they can come into really great wisdom and knowledge. This is also this doesn't have to be in that tip 2. This could also be a professional organization that's really just going to expand your influence, which is really awesome because the outcome we have for you is the Fool. So first of all, the Hierophant with the Fool means this organization is going to run bohemian to current traditions. You are going to completely twist the status quo on its head. And it's like being a rebel, but with a cause, quite literally. So there's one thing to be against the status quo, but it's another thing to move like an organized criminal gang syndicate. I mean, it's another thing to move organized and to, keep your movements in check. That's going to really help you, of course, stand on grounded land. But the Fool card is you getting ready to start a brand new adventure. This is the Uranus. Hierophant is Taurus, and Paul 2 is Uranus. Okay, that'd be crazy. So this is definitely really cool because it's going to require a leap of faith to take all of these values, and it's definitely going to have you establish a new tradition that's counterculture, I think, to what the current status quo is. All right, pile 3. Let's get it. The quality of what you are manifesting is the sun. Oh my God. You are manifesting main character energy. Okay. Um, this is bringing so much clarity and joy where you are at the centerfold of your own plot, and it's opening up so much more happiness for you. This, especially if you're tapping into your sun sign, is going to give you so much to really enjoy. Okay. So I feel like pile 1 is going to be more focused and determined. Pile 2 is going to really be more philosophical and by the book. And pile 3, you're going to be happy. I mean, everyone's going to be happy, but this is you just focusing on what gives you joy and happiness, and it's all coming from you. It's like you're manifesting this quality of just bringing this radiation radiance wherever you go. So the outcome we have for you is the strength card, which I love. This is Sun in Leo. Okay, Sun and Leo, so that's a good affinity. The strength card is with all this joy, you're just going to invest it fully in your passions. If you pick pile 3, it's like you can literally just make a living doing what the fuck you love. If you pick pile 3, I literally see you up at 3 a.m. in the morning working all day because it's what you love to do. It's just like you're filming and shooting, or you're just having fun. Like you're having so much fun. You have energy. You have a lot of energy. All right. This is going to be, whereas pile 1, I think, is going to be more, sexual, romantic. Pile 3 is a lot more passionate. It's a lot more fun. You know what I'm saying? Your work might be actually revolved around having fun or what you want to do. This is a really hopeful pile, okay? A really exciting pile. And last but not least, we have pile 4. The quality you're manifesting is the moon, which I love, is such a stark contrast to pile 3. So pile 3 is manifesting this light they're going to shine into the world to share their gifts. Pile 4, you're manifesting not just a mystical quality, but you're reflecting at the depth of your psyche, and it's enabling you to project that out into the world and to now literally live the life that is unique to you. And I really love that, because there's certain facets of what you feel about how certain traditions should be held that you don't really care for. You probably don't really care for most holidays. You probably have your own way of kind of recognizing ordinances. And it's, if you picked pile 4, you are most 100% like the Doctor Stranges of the pile. Like you're able to look at an experience, and pile 1 saw the path to victory. Pile 2 was able to kind of see the wisdom and the meaning of it. Pile 3 saw how, the light, how to bring light to it. And you saw the synchronicities that no one else saw. You saw the ghosts there, and you were talking to the spirits there. You know what I'm saying? Like pile 4, you're manifesting absolute mastery of your psychic ability and your way of being able to see what is, you know what I'm saying, hidden in plain sight. Okay. This is very important because some of you feel at the core of your being like you don't want to necessarily do things the way everyone does. Well, that's because you're not really meant to. And this is going to really enable you, without the friction of social expectation, to truly explore this and to really play with your subconscious and your imagination. You're also manifesting powerful dreams and dream recognition. And the outcome we have for you is the devil, baby. So this is going to help you really explore the darkness. This is Capricorn. And I don't mean like evil darkness. If we got the devil card, this is going to really bring out carnality, that it's very important you're seeing what's hidden in plain sight, especially with the moon card devil. This is going to key you into people throwing black magic at you, juju at you. You're looking at the undercurrents to where if we pick the moon card, people could be like, hey, how you doing? I missed you. And you're just like, fam, why do you have a fake smile? Like, what are you hiding? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing through all that shit. Like you're coming, and it's not like you're doubting your intuition. It's very powerful. So this is going to really have you explore alternative carnal sexual facets of yourself. Pile 4 is not that different from pile 1. Pile 4 is just going to be a lot more freaky sex. With the moon card and the devil card, this is drug experimentation, snorting cocaine, smoking excessive amounts of weed, playing around with altered states in consciousness. It doesn't mean you're using drugs, but this is just kind of the level of underworld activity we're dealing with here. And whether it's like evil or not depends on your integrity, but you are meant to go down this experience to really explore this and make sure that the physical does not rule the spirit, but you have the spirit overcome the material. And that's what we got, y'all. That's what we got. I might as well before we end this, okay, I'm going to show you one more video. All you have to do moving forward is to carry this intention. You can watch the video, the manifestation videos below, to give you an idea of how to maintain this thought process. You carry this all the way to the full moon in Sag, and then we're going to release the vision. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to see everything we've set the intention for, and then we're going to release that and create a magic word. All right. That full moon ceremony is where we create a magic word that we're going to build over for 2 weeks. Then we're going to activate that magic word, new moon in Gemini. So the program is on. Okay. For those of you who would like a consultation or a report, go to my website, thepeacedealer.com, description in the box below. And all my readings are 50% off automatically. All right. If any of you want to share a tip, I got my Cash App below if you want to show me some love. If you would like to, once again, just shower me with intentions and prayers, I definitely love that type of tip the most. Send some positive juju and energy my way. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'm going to share a video that also encapsulates at the realist level what this new precedent is. What is breaking through from the ground, and in your own unique way, you will also be maintaining. You're going to figure out how this will express through you. Okay. And I hope you're excited. I think some of you have an idea of what this is going to be. You don't have to stay and watch this video. After this video, I'm going to end the stream, but yeah. Welcome to the revolution.
I first met him in the early 80s in a Chinatown of urban Java. He didn't want his real name or address revealed, so we called him DJ for Dynamo Jack. He was only a healer, he said, but he did direct a powerful energy generated from his own body into his patients. Sometimes he used the needles, sometimes just his hands. He called the energy Qi, and it was so strong that he usually needed a grounder to hold his patients' feet. For years we followed him around Java on his healing rounds, pleading to be allowed to film him, but he always refused, saying his powers resulted from a type of meditation with an ancient tradition of secrecy. It was only when my brother Lorne was suffering from a serious eye infection that he finally allowed us to film him in 1987.
It was nothing like any acupuncture I'd ever had. I was getting really powerful electric shocks and couldn't control my movements at all.
Yin yang, positive and negative, you know. And my positive from here and my negative from here. And we meet together, can get like electricity.
And is this because you're special? You have a special sort of
It's meditation every day.
It's meditation that does it.
Meditation every day. Like you can touch me, like this. It's nothing, okay? It's my burn. It's just like this.
For our sound recordist, it was also a shocker. He then took our newspaper outside and showed us how qi can also be used to set things on fire. When he heard we'd shown this footage in public, he was very upset and refused all our future efforts to contact him again. As the years passed, we sadly resigned ourselves to never seeing him again. My brother Lorne never did, for by 1997 he was already dead, when I again found myself with DJ, now treating me for an eye problem. But it wasn't this that brought me back. He had tracked me down out of the blue and invited me to tell me a story. He had just returned from 2 years on a deep meditational journey, alone in the heart of Borneo. Amongst his revelations, he had seen, he said, how history was moving on into great change, and the old wisdom was vanishing. So he'd called me back to film just enough of him to remind us that we all have undreamed of powers sleeping within us, and that there's nothing special about him except for his training in waking them. Grounding this patient, my cameraman Joe is having to use all his weight to keep contact. The qi is pushing him away. He seems able to control the amplitude of this qi, like a dimmer switch, and it causes uncontrollable responses in the patients and their grounders.
I can barely keep my hand on you. It wants to fly off. The electricity is so strong.
This mother unwittingly grounds her child. He won't sit still, so she's asked to hold him and grin and bear it. Sometimes signs of this passing energy can be seen in the transmitter too. This qi stuff is only the surface, he says, of the real adventure beneath, in the meditational technique. Projecting qi from the palm of the hand can also be used to resist rifle pellets, he says. First, you learn to distinguish between yin and yang qi in your body. Then how to pool it in your navel chakra. Then how to project it, he says. And it's the proportionate mixture between yin and yang which accounts for different effects, like pulling or pushing objects or igniting them. Then he gets really strange. He says that mastering yin qi is the key to the spirit world. There's a long tradition of Indonesian krisis being possessed by spirits. So people bring him their krisis to see if they're duds. Here, he says, he doesn't manipulate matter by projecting mixtures of yin and yang qi. He merely creates a field of yin energy in which, he says, if there's a spirit, it can manifest itself. So I invited a small group of scientists back from the United States with measuring equipment to test if DJ was for real. And if so, where might this energy belong on the electromagnetic spectrum? Catherine Cook, CEO of the Mind Science Foundation in Texas. Dr. Roger Nilsson, a Swedish medic and international racing sailor. Dr. Greg Simpson, a physicist from New York's Albert Einstein University. And Andreas Polak, one of DJ's Australian students. The visitors are confident they'll uncover him as a fraud in no time. Greg is the first guinea pig, and he's uncomfortable about showing that he can feel anything at all. Dr. Roger doesn't know what to expect. Out comes the metal detector, like the things they use in airports, to see if he has any concealed metal in his body. Then the voltmeter, to try and measure the chi. But how to get it to work? Where's the ground? What settings? DJ suggests that as his negative is his perineum and his positive is his navel chakra, perhaps that's where the electrode should be attached. He doesn't stand on his dignity. He's eager to help, but still no readings. They're getting shocks off his arm, and now they're on the right settings, but the needle still isn't moving. DJ says it isn't electricity, it's chi.
It's 1, 2, up. I feel it in my whole body. I feel it at 3, 0.3. I feel it in my legs. Shit.
But suspecting there's some tricky setup on his premises they can't find, they insist we all go to a randomly chosen hotel room several miles away to see if he can light a light bulb with his fingers. It doesn't ground on the wall. So Greg holds and grounds one wire, while DJ pumps chi through the other. The bulbs are LEDs, light-emitting diodes, which ignite in different colors according to the intensity of current.
Yes. On, off, on.
Brilliant.
Oh, you're blinking.
Things were going well. DJ was enjoying it too, until he invited us all out to lunch at his local, where he tried to push a chopstick through the table. He couldn't get it through the Formica surface, so he came up through an inch of wood from underneath. Not only did he draw his own blood, but a chopstick splinter had caught Alison here between the eyes, drawing more. The incident was laughed off apologetically, but next morning he was a different man, drawn and upset. He said he'd been visited all night by his long-dead master, raging that he'd broken the strict taboos of his sect, never to show off in public and never to cause harm or draw blood. He felt deeply chastised. All further testing and filming must end. Never again would he submit to public scrutiny, nor accept any new students. He would sink from sight and continue his healing in obscurity, as he had done since before we met him in the early 80s and had always told us was right.
In Sage Page, thank you very much. You guys stay blessed as always, and remember, your mission for the next 2 weeks is to think, sense, live, and assume we got an unlimited amount of anything. Let's get